So we're back here at PlayTri in Sarasota, where you get another episode of Old Guy Rides Superbike. Today we're going to take a look at the Factor Hanzo TT bike, triathlon bike. This bike looks amazing. It's super light. It looks like it's going to be super swift and wicked fast. We're going to do our test at Benderson Park, where it's a 3.4 mile loop with a couple of little hills, long straightaways, and some twisty sections to test every single solitary handling and climbing aspect of this bike. So stay right here, because I'm going to bring you some really great information, and I'm going to have a lot of fun. The Factor Hanzo is a true UCI legal time trial bike that can cross over into the triathlon world. The company owns their own factory and is able to control the build quality of each and every bike. The design of the bike is said to be more aero than even non-UCI legal triathlon bikes. Focusing on frontal area, reducing this by 60% from the UCI legal 2.5 centimeters in 2023 to 1 centimeter in 2024 reduces the net aero drag, and the airfoil design, frame shape, seat stays, and dropout shapes work to reduce the vortexes made by the rider's body, the spinning wheels, and the legs. The one-piece molded cockpit, consisting of handlebars, stem, and riser, are a true airfoil design, which is much stiffer than the bolt-together systems used on other bikes. The noticeably stiff frame is very responsive to each pedal stroke. The aero down tube integrates well into the water bottle area and makes for a stiff and rigid bottom bracket. It comes with black ink aero bars, but the cockpit is designed to fit most popular brands. Comes with black ink 48-58 wheel set, Goodyear Eagle F1 racing tires, 165 millimeter crankset, SRAM Force 2x12 speed, 48-35 compact front, and a 10-33 rear cassette. It has ceramic speed head and bottom bracket bearings, 160 millimeter disc brakes, but is limited to a 28 millimeter tire. So we've moved from the shop down here to Benderson Park, and this is how this is going to work. We're going to take this Factor Hanzo and we're going to do 2 laps around this 3.4 mile lake. The first lap I'm going to do at 150 watts. Now, why do I choose 150 watts? Because that's a wattage that most people can hold for a long period of time. The second one, after a rest, I will go ahead and do as an all-out time trial where I'll hold the best possible power I can all the way around the lake. Now, unlike the BMC that I did earlier, this is a very different day. It is blazing hot, a headwind coming down the front section of the lake. And with that said, let's get ready to roll. Oh, I don't know if you all noticed, if you got a keen eye, it's not the same Factor that was at the shop. It's got a couple of differences. It's a little higher end version. It's got a different wheel set on it, and there's some additions like the elbow cups and SRAM red with a 54 tooth chainring. I've never ridden a 54 tooth chainring before. We'll see how this goes. Rel, here we go, we're off. Lap 1 down. Interesting bike to ride. Definitely not my setup. I had a little elbow cup issues. Now, as far as 150 watts go, good luck. You ain't keeping it at 150 watts. This bike will not let you stay at 150 watts. You're going to go faster. I literally had to ride around like I was riding a tricycle in the backyard to stay at 150 watts. Now, what'll happen on this all-out run? We'll see. Let's see what happens. So let's talk about the Factor Hanzo.
This bike was really fun to ride. It was really laid the power down. The power got to the ground very easily. I had a real hard time keeping it at 150 watts, and I pushed it so hard that I kind of burned myself out on that fast lap, but I can tell you, it was hauling. Now, some things about the Factor. First off, if you're interested in this bike, you can buy it from PlayTri, the sponsor of this video, and they can ship it anywhere in the country. There's a link in the description below for PlayTri and the phone number to get a hold of them if you're interested in this or any other bike in their inventory, as well as a link to their website where you can see their complete inventory of bikes. Now, that said, the Factor Hanzo was a fun bike, but it has a couple of things I don't like. First, I found out this head tube right here. If you want to lower the bars, you have to cut the head tube. So know what you're doing before you cut. So you have to make sure when you have your bike fit that you hit that right on the nose where you want it. Other than that, the bike did handle well on the straightaways. It climbed quite well. It was quite my setup. The base bars were a little low for me personally, but it climbed real well. Power got to the ground. Crosswinds, that's a different story. The crosswinds in this, it didn't take the crosswinds quite as well as my Felt IA or the BMC Speed Machine or the Argon E118 that I've ridden in the past. These bikes, they're a little quirky in the handling. The turn radius on the head tube is really, really small, but all in all, the bike was really fun. Now, let's take a look at the results. So we got home, we finally had a chance to take a look at the numbers and to try to kind of figure out where this bike fits in the world of triathlon. But if you're getting value from this video, make sure you drop down below, hit subscribe, turn on the little notification bell, give me a thumbs up, hype it up if you really like it, and if you want to help this channel grow, hit me with a super thanks. Well, we know this bike is fast. We know it's fast because Rudy von Berg just rode it to one of the best bike splits at Kona on a very conservative ride where he came in 3rd overall. We also see it being ridden by Israel Premier Tech in the World Tour, and it won Olympic gold and set the world record in the team pursuit for Team Australia at this past Olympics. So let's take a look at how this old guy did riding this super bike. Well, remember we did one lap at 150 watts, and this is the numbers that we got from that lap. 3.47 miles in a length of time of 11 minutes and 33 seconds. But I could only get the bike down to 170 watts, and that gathered me a speed of 18.6 miles per hour. A little bit faster than the BMC Speed Machine, and I used a heart rate of 127 beats per minute to do that. Now, lap 2, I saw a little bit of a problem myself. I actually overcooked it a little bit. It was really, really hot. And the last little less than half mile, I was way under wattage, way under power, way under speed, but I still finished that lap in 10 minutes flat using 256 watts of power, getting me 21.8 mile per hour average. But if you take and cut off that last half mile, I was up in the 23 plus mile per hour average range and pushing at 265, 270 watts that whole length of time. And it gave me a heart rate average of 154 beats per minute. How did this match up against the other bike I rode, the BMC Speed Machine? It was a little slower for the lap, expected with me blowing up on that. I did run a little higher wattage on this, and it came in a little bit slower after I blew up. Now, before I blew up, checking the two numbers together, I was faster on the Hanzo. How much faster was I between lap 1 and lap 2? That makes me 13% faster time-wise, 44% faster power-wise, and that related to 17% more speed between the 170 watts that I turned and the 256 watt average that I turned on the bike. This came in at 18% more bodily effort. So I got 17% more speed out of 18% more body effort. That is really, really close. That shows you that bike is very efficient no matter how much power you put down. Is this a good bike for age groupers? Well, wait till the very dead end of this video and I will show you how much this bike is going to cost you. I'm going to base my review on my ranking system, and I give the ranking by this. Number 1 would be highly recommended. It takes a lot to get that. Number 2, recommended. Number 3, a good value. Number 4, a bad value. Number 5, total junk, stay away. All right, so with that said, I'm going to talk about the Factor Hanzo. I find this bike to be very light, very strong, very aero, but I also find it to be twitchy. This isn't a bike for average everyday Joe. This is a bike that's designed for a professional or a person with a lot of riding experience. It is very, very fast. The biggest problem I find with this bike is that aero bar riser. That aero bar riser, if you cut it too far and you end up too aggressive, you're not going to be able to shim that back up. You're going to have to buy a whole new handlebar setup and then cut that one down if you are not sure exactly on your fit. So have this bike fit by a professional bike fitter. This bike is a true time trial bike, has no built-in hydration, has no built-in storage, but transfers well into the triathlon world. Oh wait, they have a triathlon version coming out soon. Keep your eyes open for that. If you're looking for a time trial bike and a triathlon bike built all in one, this is a really good bike. I would recommend this for that. Now, at $10,199 MSRP, this is a pricey bike. So I'm gonna say for the average person, this would be a good value bike for you. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell for all my videos. This is Coach John. Boom, I'm out.